Well, Jabbar, let me ask you this here. I didn't see you cringe at all. Where was he wrong at again?
He knows not to ask me that. He's not wrong anywhere. All he's doing is he's explaining to the masses basically that God has had enough of social injustices. God intervenes in the affairs of men and makes things right. So he's saying that America, we have to understand this. America is the most powerful nation. We shouldn't even say nation. It's something original. It's the most dynamic force in this world right now. And when you try to approach this unique force that's never been seen on the face of the earth before, America has a certain type of arrogance with the wealth that it has, the military strength that it has. It has a certain type of arrogance that has to be approached. So what he's doing, he's basically letting you know that with all of your military strength, with your record of bloodshed and domination around the world, because there's no country that's free of American interests, okay? There's consequences if you do something that the American government doesn't like. He's basically letting you know that there is checks and balances with God, even with America. So, I mean, he's not saying anything wrong. The people who was upset with Reverend Wright are people who are just bathing in their own arrogance.
Ms. Banks, he's a man. He probably didn't see the same insights that you see. Where was Reverend Wright wrong?
I don't feel that he was wrong either. I don't have a problem with the arrogance, but I do have a problem with if we want to tell other countries and other nations how to perform, how to treat their people, then we need to do it for our people. And that's something that we don't do. People were very angry because he said, "God damn America." Patriotism for blacks and whites are different. People don't want to admit that, but it is different. We don't feel the same sense of patriotism only because we didn't come here the same way, nor do we have the same things, nor are we as equal. So therefore, our patriotism is a little different than theirs. They have a lot to celebrate. We don't have those same things to celebrate. When Michelle Obama made the statement that, it's the first time she's been so proud of her country and people blasted her. I'm 43. I'm the same age as she is. I agree. The Bay of Pigs and the, all these things. They were like, oh, my God, the Cold War, she doesn't remember. It didn't affect me. It didn't affect my community. I didn't know about it, and I didn't care about it. So that wasn't a great big thing for me that happened. But for the first time in my life, it's not so much as, we shouldn't vote primarily because of race. I agree, absolutely. But if you look at the two candidates, their issues are about the same. So the difference for me is that young black men can say, wow, maybe I really could do that. That's for once they had that opportunity. We have voted for two great white men forever. I go to school, and I'm in college now to get my degree, and that's all I hear about is how great white men are. And we should bow to them because they're so great, So our patriotism is not the same because we don't see the same thing, And
if I could just add on piggyback real quick to what she said.
Okay, real quick, we got this phone call here.
Okay, real quick. All I'm saying is also a lot of Americans, a lot of people here today in America are really new. They're like Johnny come lately to America. Your parents probably been here 20 years, 15 years. We're talking about we've been here from day one. So you don't know this country like we know this country. You don't know the policies like we know these policies. So I'm just saying real quick that we built black people, Africans, blacks, we and Native Americans, we built the seed, the economic seed for this country's wealth. We create the seed money for this country to be wealthy like it is that makes them want to come here. We create the wealth on our backs, on our grandmothers and our grandfathers' backs in the cotton fields that generate the wealth. So if we did that and we fought in every war that America had to offer, all right, why shouldn't a black man be commander-in-chief? We served you.
We have a phone call. Is the caller still there? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I had a comment. Can you hear me okay?
Can't hear him.
Turn the volume up a little bit. But go ahead, please.
Now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a comment, and I was talking to my pastor, and was saying, no matter how there's issues to talk about that is that America's done wrong, and there's friends of mine that do wrong, but I never would say goddamn anything, fill in the blank. There's no matter if I was quoting someone or so.
Yeah.
I understand the issues and everything, and but just wording it like that, maybe the only thing I would say would be like, goddamn the choices that America's made, and the only way we're going to be able to affect that is to go out and vote and get some of these people that making the wrong decisions.
You are absolutely correct, but if Reverend Wright would have used different language, we wouldn't be discussing this on Hackonomics right now. Mm-hmm. And now that he has used that language, he's brought an issue out. He's exposed an issue. For example, when he's talking about how America has gone in and taken things, this is Fort Wayne, Indiana. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, I know you are familiar with Fort Wayne history, but those of you sitting at home, if you want to read something that's violent, read about our history here.
Absolutely.
I, along with many other people, attended a school called Harmer Elementary School. And the whole time I was there, I never knew who Harmer was. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who Harmer was until, I had to read a history book to find out who Harmer was. General Harmer Street here, where Carmichael Funeral Home is located, was ordered here by George Washington, October 22nd, 1790, to kill the Indians and destroy the village. Mm-hmm. And when General Harmer came here to attack the village, Chief Little Turtle and his braves defeated Harmer's troops so severely that what I read was General Harmer's men in their retreat back to Cincinnati, they left a trail of blood from Fort Wayne to Cincinnati. That's how bad it was bleeding. And then George Washington went back, to the table here and said, we got to do something about this here. Then he ordered in one of the former, what's the government before, Articles of Confederation. One of those presidents, St. Clair, to lead another troop against the Indians here. And that was November 4th, 1791. When St. Clair came in, now this is what really confuses me. That battle was so bloody that if you watch the Westerns on TV, you know about Geronimo and Cold Chiefs and Sitting Bull, Custer's Last Stand, Red Cloud, and Crazy Horse. If you take all the American soldiers that those guys killed collectively, Chief Little Turtle, in defending his people, killed more than all of them collectively. Now, what I find interesting is the fact that we know who Geronimo is, we know who all those Indians are. They all have movies.
Right.
But we in Fort Wayne haven't taken the initiative to promote our head Indian guy, Chief Little Turtle.
Absolutely.
After all these battles, then I'll go back to you all again. After all these battles, George Washington gave Chief Little Turtle a medallion and a sword saying that you are the greatest Indian of all time. We never hear anything, about that. When Chief Little Turtle defeated Major General St. Clair, Congress had sent negotiators into the Indians' camp and negotiated with them to give them all the land north of the Ohio River, which means Indiana and Kentucky. So technically, we shouldn't even be part of the United States. But I digress. No, it's not even digressing. That's part of that's Fort Wayne history. But anyway.
It's part of the legacy of injustices that Reverend Wright is talking about.
Right.
So it's very relevant. I mean, they're not going to make a movie for Little Turtle when here's a man fighting for the sovereignty of his people, no more than they're going to make a movie for Nat Turner. So, it is what it is. But,
I have faith in Fort Wayne people. And as we promote, with the multiculturals here, as we come together and show a different dimension of Fort Wayne, because, there's, we talk about what happened to the blacks. We're going to talk more about that.
Right.
And then the Native Americans. But now that we have the ethnics here, boy, there's some good issues that they're running from. One of my Burmese friends, Tin Tway, who's always on the show, give me the story of Aung San Suu Kyi. there's different stories that you can relate to personally. I have found out that when you have a chance to touch someone from another country and understand their issues, you can actually feel those issues.
That's right.
But
But they don't seem to be able to fill our issues.
well,
That's true
right.
as well.
Well, and I think that's because they're still running from because their folks are still being chased and killed in their countries, and they're here trying to figure out how to fit in and not be political and not be ostracized. They want to blend in and get used to America, whereas we African Americans are trying to still make life make sense. And for me, as I see other ethnic groups handling their own issues and how they're handling their issues and how they're able to stay together as a unit, it helps me understand the plight of black people and certain things that blacks can do to better deal with the issues that we're dealing with. Get that next clip ready to go here because we have a lot of ground to cover, and I want to thank the caller for making a very interesting observation because he's right. Because there is tougher language that you can use, but when you're trying to bring a point to the table, it got my attention, and doggone it, we wanted to ask Reverend Wright to come on the show.
Absolutely.
But go ahead and get that clip ready to go. You got a comment?
Well, I was just going to say, if you look at the formations if you look at the history of how nations are formed, from oppressed classes, with the atrocities that America has placed on the multitudes of people, transcending race, language, this government and the people responsible for its powers should be elated that the oppressed classes are only talking.